As you all have probably heard by now, the ableist and Stalinist, Dankey Kang, broke up his erstwhile, political romance with Jason Unruhe Caden. So the ice picks are out for the next great purge. Who will end up on the next ice flow out of town? And the casus belli for this rift between Mr. Maoist rebel and tanky Stalinist, Dankey Kang? Well, it's because of Jason Unruhe's long-standing transphobia and hatred of trans people, which has been blindingly apparent to everyone on the internet except for supposedly Dankey Kang. Is this lapse in judgment really to be believed? Or was Unruhe given the green light by Dankey Kang for his unrelenting hatred and prejudice? This campaign of hate, from the bisexually orientated Jason Unruhe Caden, directed at trans people, like a narco pack, has been legendary over the past nearly 3 years. It began in 2018 when a narco pack outed Jason Unruhe Caden for deliberately misgendering her and deliberately making her feel uncomfortable in public. We all read the comments and saw the evidence. And frankly, it made all of us feel uncomfortable too. Yet this is par for the course for the misanthropic pair of ableist and bigoted Stalinists known as Jason Unruhe Caden and his wingman in socialism, Dankey Kang. For what Jason Unruhe did, and what Dankey Kang claims he did not know about, was that he subjected an narco-pack to one of the cruelest videos we have yet seen. And it did not just offend her and other trans people. It offended disabled people also. For the nasty and vindictive invectives and hate cartoons he used included in it the mainstream, commercial and hierarchical television series, South Park, where Jason Unruhe Caden, unbelievably, asked a narco-pack to point to where you felt violated by me on this sex doll. This long-running television show taught Dankey Kang's millennial generation that it was also okay to call people retarded, a term used by the National Socialists to justify the liquidation of the disabled. Simply put, it was sleazy and a very low rent to do. And Unruhe Caden knew it. And he hanged his head in shame because of it from the backlash he received as always. He's been backpedaling ever since. Dankey Kang has now supposedly discovered this vicious and prejudiced view of Jason Unruhe a week ago, as of New Year's Eve, at the close of 2020? How could he have missed Unruhe's trumpeted comments of a decade ago on the controversial subject of transgender issues, and his well-publicized attack on a narco-pack, where she gave as good, or better than she got from the asshole Soviet socialist, Jason Unruhe Caden? Apparently, Jason Unruhe Caden believes that Soviet socialist dialectical materialism can solve anything, as a Marxist-Leninist. Obviously, dialectic materialism, and all their Russian calculations that go along with it, such as their glorious 5-year plans, do not allow for humanity, and never did in the first place. My parents taught me something: the mark of a real gentleman or woman is someone who allows everyone else to feel comfortable with themselves. Neither Jason Unruhe Caden nor Dankey Kang are gentle people and refuse to allow other people to feel comfortable about themselves. And that is a goddamn shame on the both of them and their miserable, tanky cohort. How can a supposedly revolutionary left carry out a program when it is ridden with such bigotry? And it is endemic since the left's first major movements in the East in 1917. Peaceful anarchists were attacked in farms and at Kronstadt by the Red Army. Over 250,000 disabled people were locked up in distant and frozen, Siberian concentration camps by Stalin. They were dubbed the Neo-Decembrists after invalid veterans who returned from the front and overthrew the Russian government in 1826. A large group of disabled people were isolated on a mist-shrouded island without a name in the Gulag archipelago and were never heard from again. As late as 1980, when a Soviet apparatchik in charge of organizing Moscow's Olympics, was asked if the Russians would be fielding a Paralympic team, the answer was, there are no invalids in the USSR. The Paralympics had to be held the following year in the Netherlands. Soviet socialists need to clean up their act lest they fall back into the same orbit as their previous National Socialist brothers. Scumbags like Dankey Kang and Jason Unruhe Caden must be the true character of socialism and communism. Look at the history of socialism and its ever-failing grasp for communism. One massacre and disaster after another, 5-year plain of disaster. Violence and mayhem. Rape and rapine. Socialism is bigotry, no two ways about it. So how could have the Memphis, Tennessean and Stalinist Dankey Kang, have not known of fellow tanky, Jason Unruhe Caden's transphobia, and hatred of trans people, like the clever and analytical anarcho-pack? Jason Unruhe Caden's blatantly prejudiced and bigoted videos against the trans community had been available for all to see and discuss since 2013. How could, therefore, Dankey Kang, who makes videos for YouTube, earns money off YouTube, and consorts with Jason Unruhe Caden, not realize that he was earning money off of hatred towards people who now refuse to be vulnerable members of our so-called society? The simple answer is that Dankey Kang did know, and just did not give a shit about it. Just like he didn't give a shit about contracting the mercenary, Jason Unruhe Caden, to attack the disabled community and me. Dankey Kang is just as mercenary and bigoted as Jason Unruhe Caden. This ignorant bigot, Dankey Kang, is representing you with a bastardized mix of fascism and totalitarianism that is damaging and dangerous to the free exchange of ideas in the community. He is a menace. He is a homophobe. He is a transphobe. He is an ableist bigot. Prevent him from moving in your political circles.